I feel like a whale that can't find my pod. He found one. Very good. All right, who do we have that's still searching lonely through the ocean to find? So if you're lonely, come up front. Okay? If you got your pod, stay in your pod. Okay, if you're in a pod, stay in your pod. Now here's what we're going to do. Ladies, as they describe their pod, if that fits your challenge, go find your herd, okay? Here we go. Ladies, what's this pod represent?
Administrative.
And listening, kind of a hybrid.
Listening/admin. Okay? Anybody suit that category? She's like, oh, that's me, I'm coming. Okay. All right, this pod, what are you ladies?
We don't know what we want to do when we grow up.
I love it. All right, right back here.
Public speaking.
Public speaking. What a thing, I'll tell you. Toastmasters.
Grace is gonna go.
Grace is just going to be a pod hopper. Okay. Grace, you can just stand in the middle and go all of these. Okay. All right, right back here.
This is gaining knowledge outside of our product expertise.
Ah, trying to expand the breadth of knowledge. Okay.
That's my pod.
Go for it. Go for it. Kindred spirits. I'm going for my people. Very good, very good. Ladies, right up here in front.
Learning to articulate our point concisely.
Oh, that's me.
Communicating concisely. Oh, we're finding home. This is good. This is good. This is good. All right, right up here. How many pods? Is this a collective pod, or how many pods do we have here? What? Speaking up in meetings. Okay. Lack of confidence, or afraid you don't have anything to contribute? Confidence. So you've got the knowledge, but not the confidence. Okay, so need confidence. Okay? Anybody belong in that pod? Go migrate that way. Over here, ladies.
Advocate for ourselves in large.
How to advocate for yourself to strangers.
Yeah.
Okay? All right. Right back, right back over here. Being a better listener. Okay? So you guys can migrate over if you like. We've got two herds combined. Very good. Okay? Right? Is this another group, or are you guys all together? You're all together. Okay, right there. What is this group?
Ours is kind of focused around time, either overcommitting the time or managing the time.
My hair's on fire. That's your group. Okay. I resemble that remark. She's like, and I'm coming your direction. And me too. Okay. All right. Who else do I miss? Right back here. Yes, 10%. Contributes 100% of your work time availability. Good job. Okay. Perfectionism. Anybody? No? Okay. All right. The two perfectionists. They'll critique the rest of us at the end of the session. Very good. Right back here, ladies.
We're similar to the ladies over there with the advocating for ourselves, but it doesn't have to be with a stranger. It can do with work, family, church.
Okay, so generally just needing to be able to advocate for ourselves. That'll work. Okay. She's like, I don't know where I belong. Okay. Right back here?
Saying no.
Saying no. Oh, praise the Lord. Okay. That's just basically we all can jump in your pod now. That's good. Saying no. Okay. Meaning you need to learn how to say no, or you're exceptional at it. Need to learn. Okay, fair enough. I can stand back with you. Very good. Anyone I've missed? Any pods? Okay. Now let me ask you a question. Let's look to our loners up here. You guys are the free fish. Okay. What's yours?
Mine is building out an entire program after the exciting design phase is over.
Okay. So yours is stick-to-itiveness. You like to engineer new things, but run the business stuff makes you want to stick a toothpick in your eyeball. Hey, I'm an ENTJ. That's the story of my life. Shiny new penny, somebody else has got to wash it. Okay? Yes.
Well, I work in sales, so my challenge is challenging conventional thinking. So I can sell and talk about our product or American Funds, but if someone says no, I have a hard time saying, well, really, you should rethink that, and here's why.
Okay.
Kind of being pushy.
Okay, so what you're really saying is being able to have a counter-argument. Okay, confidence in the counter-argument. Very good.
Mine was leading and motivating.
Leading and motivating.
Everybody should make the right choice, and I have a hard time getting people to see what that right choice might be for themselves. So.
Okay.
Mine is think bigger and broader. I find myself.
You're a tree rather than forest person?
Yeah, when I
teams, what's the first thing you notice? How big is your pod? Right? Some are really big, some are really small, right? They're getting kind of chunky, right? We've got some really good sized groups here. The fact is, the thing you should take away from this is we all deal with the same crap, day in and day out. We have the same challenges. Some of us suffer from perfectionism, some of us don't. You know? But the fact is, there's likely someone, so let me give you an example of how peer-to-peer female relationships can be your greatest saving grace. So, to our perfectionists in the back, you ready? Who in here has had an experience where perfectionism led to an epic failure or waste of time? Okay? Lots of people. So when the next time you're stressing out over being a perfectionist, just find any one of the ladies that had their hands raised and ask them to tell you their story. Right? But at the same time, how many of you have ever had an experience where that last attention to detail would have made the difference between the sale, the success, whatever, and you needed somebody with that level of perfectionism? Show of hands. So the next time you find yourself in that boat, who are you going to go find? You're going to go find one of those two in the back and go, hey, this is a make or break moment, and I need a level of granular detail that would nauseate me on any given day, but I need you to provide it to me. Right? Because the fact is, you like being there. It's a strength. So when you think about Carnegie's mastermind group, let me explain to you why that was such a powerful construct. Because if I just had this pod, and all they did was spend time together, they would have the same fundamental weakness in everything that they attack. But if I were to pull one woman out of every single pod in this room and make a new pod, you would have every strength and every weakness, and the weaknesses wouldn't matter anymore. Because somebody in that group would have a strength to offset it. What Carnegie, Firestone, and Ford figured out was that when you have intentional professional relationships with people that have a skill set different from yours, you have the ability to garner skills that you will never attain personally, but you get to use them for your benefit. We as women associate like with like. I guarantee you, where you naturally sat at these tables are with people that you see on a day-to-day basis all the time. True or false? How many of you are sitting at a table with nobody you've ever talked to before?
We didn't let them.
Less than a third of you. Oh, it was engineered the other way. Okay, never mind.
They may have sat with people they knew.
But in a normal setting, you would have gone to the people you know, wouldn't have you? Because that's our comfort zone. So here's what I want to challenge you to do. I want you to think, for those of you that work here in the San Antonio office, I know you can't, get in front of Deb or Julie all the time because they flew in to be with us. But I want you to look at the people that have differentiating challenges from you. Because these are the individuals that will offset the skill sets that you don't presently have. The things that worry you, the things that create stress because you think you have a blind spot. Stop worrying about closing your blind spot. It's 10% of your productivity. I want you to think about the things on the pink card, and I want you to find people to put in your life intentionally that erase whatever's on the yellow. Because when you do that, you're going to have a group of people, and it doesn't matter if you have lunch once a week or you have coffee once every other week. You got a great cafeteria here. Go have coffee with each other. But get together intentionally and talk about your challenges. Be candid. Be transparent. Because when you do that, you're going to realize why all three of those men are multi-billionaires. Because they figured out that the nexus of life is not trying to shore up your weakness, but in building relationships that eradicate them. We have to be that person for one another. And I'm not saying your mastermind group has to be just women, but I would encourage you that very rarely will men understand your time constraint issues and your guilt issues about parenting the way another woman will. But invite them to the table anyway, because the more you educate them on the challenges, the more forward-thinking our entire workforce becomes. Did you enjoy this exercise? Yeah? All right, let's have a seat.
Thank you.
All right. So I want to dispel, the second part of this is dispelling a myth about mentorship. Now, I've been brought into a lot of companies to talk about formal mentoring programs, and the thing that disheartens me the most is when I hear a woman say, well, I'm not getting any mentorship because there's no formal mentoring program. So, my response to that is twofold. One, that's your fault. And two, mentoring does not have to be formal. But what I really find to be the biggest gap in understanding for us is we don't understand how mentoring works. And this isn't just women, this is everybody in the workforce generation. Something happened fundamentally after the World War II generation about what mentoring is. And we've gotten in a on-demand mentality, which is we deserve mentorship. Have you ever heard somebody say that? Well, how am I supposed to move forward if I don't have an assigned mentor? Do you know somebody have you heard somebody say that? No? Really? I have. Lots. The fact is, let's talk about what the rules of mentoring relationships actually are. There's two people. There's the mentor and the mentee. Who is responsible for the mentoring relationship? I heard half and half. I hear both. How many say mentor? Raise your hand. How many say both? How many say mentee? The last one is correct. Here's why. You're like, yes. I even got a Tiger Woods fist pump out of it. All right. She's like, score. The mentee owns the relationship. And this is an anomaly because most people think, well, the person with all of the knowledge should drive the relationship. No. You have to seek mentorship. And the thing is most people get it in their mind that I'm going to walk up and I'm going to go, hi, Rachel, I'm Crystal. I really just admire the way that you handled yourself in that meeting. I was wondering, would you be my mentor? It makes you very uncomfortable, right? Because one, she has no idea what I want to be mentored about. It's awkward. And lots of people make that mistake, like, I'm just going to ask somebody to be my mentor. Like, I guarantee you at some point in their career, now that she's not here, I can talk about her. Somebody's gone up to Julie and said, Julie, will you mentor me? And she says, sure. About what? You don't need just one mentor. When I say do a gap analysis and look at yourself and ask yourself where you want to be, whatever skill set you're writing on that card and whatever skill set you're trying to increase, you need to find mentors that have that skill. It doesn't mean you need one. You probably need multiple. I'll give you a good example. I believe in mentorship so much that I seek out people to mentor me in almost every capacity of my life. Now, you're going to think I'm nuts, but let me give you a really transparent glimpse into my life. Okay? In my church, I have a woman that mentors me in my relationship with my husband as a wife. How do I be a fundamentally faithful wife to my husband in all the ways that I'm called to be and still be an A-type female? Right? Submission is not my greatest skill. Okay? Let's be honest. In fact, I kind of just hate that word in general. But I have to do it. And I have to be able to do it in a way that supports my husband to be the head of the household in the way that he deserves to be, given our faith. So I have a mentor that talks me through. So when I want to tell my husband, you're being a freaking moron, and I go, I'll talk to you then in a minute. Deb, this is what he said, and this is what I wanted to say. Now what am I supposed to actually say in response to this moronic man? She goes, have you read? And she'll give me this crazy Bible verse, and I'll go back and I'll read it, and I'll go, God, I hate it when she's right. And I'll come back and I'll say, okay, I can understand your perspective. What I'd like to understand better is why you feel that way. Could you explain it to me? And lo and behold, about an hour later, I don't want to kill him anymore. It's just the way it works. So, very specific mentoring relationship, right? Because I know it's a weakness for me. I think I know everything. I mean, I know exactly how I want the kids to be raised. I know exactly how I want their homework to be done. I have hooks where their backpacks go. I am OCD, okay? You've seen Sleeping with the Enemy? You know the towels and the cans and the pantry, okay? At one point in my life, when I was still in college and I lived by myself, I labeled my movies by genre and they were in alphabetical order. No lie. I have 5 children. Do you think that flies in my household? No. I would probably die of a freaking heart attack if I didn't learn to let a few things go. Okay? But I have to have a mentor that teaches me those things because I'm not built that way. In my professional life, I have an individual that I seek out for speaking advice. How do I become more impactful? How do I help audiences hear the message that I want to say in a way that they're going to be responsive to? Here's what I want to say. Here's how I've said it. It's not getting the results I want. How do I make it more powerful? Someone that helps me in that regard. I have a mentor that I seek out when I have a leadership challenge. He and I have been business partners for about 8 years. He's a retired 3-star general, and he is one of the most amazing men I've ever met in my life. His name's Don Jones. He lives outside the gate of Fort Hood up in Killeen. And until I moved to San Antonio, I probably spent 3 or 4 days a week with him. And the ability to learn from his leadership style was a huge gift for me. And when I say that someone is a terrific leader, let me tell you how I knew that. Every year, we serve on the board for the Association of the United States Army together, first at the Fort Hood chapter, and now I serve here for the Alamo chapter here in San Antonio. And the annual convention for the Association of the United States Army happens in Washington DC every October. And there's about 35,000 service members and former service members and leaders for the association that converge on DC to the Walter E. Washington Convention Center. Anybody ever been in that convention center? You ever been in the basement? It's like 3 football fields long. It's absolutely ginormous, and that is a weird word, but it is appropriate for that convention center. Do not wear high heels, your feet will fall off, okay? It's always the little Boeing girls that are wearing their 9-inch heels. They literally have to put foam padding on the floor for them to stand there all day long. It's ridiculous. Don and I are walking through the convention center the very first year that I've been elected to the board. And it took us, the entire football field, multiple football field length, would probably take you 15 minutes to walk at a brisk pace. We got off the escalator. He'd been off of active duty since the year 2000, when he was hired by Elizabeth Dole to be the CEO of the Red Cross. It took us an hour and 45 minutes to go from the escalator on one end of the convention center floor to the other, where we were supposed to be. Because every 10 steps, somebody would say, General Jones, sir, Don, sir, General Jones, how's Betty, how's the kids, how is your daughter, how's your son? He knew everyone's name, where they went to school, where they served together, what their wife's name was, what their kids did, where they went to college, what church they went to when they were stationed at Fort Knox together. I had never seen a leader that was so beloved by people that he touched for only a small amount of time. Every single person would pull me and say, oh, you're so lucky to be working with him. He's a tremendous leader. He taught me so much. He's the reason I made major. He's the reason I made captain. He's the reason I made 1-star. He's the reason my son got into Pepperdine. I mean, just an insane amount of feedback on the type of leader he was. And so being able to be mentored by him, not in the sense like, tell me everything you know about leadership and let me write it down. That's not the type of mentorship I'm talking about. I'm talking about the left seat, right seat, as we say in the military. When you take on a new job, the person that's leaving that job is in the right seat, and you watch them do it while you sit in the left. And when the transition time comes, you step from left to right, and you're that person, and you begin putting someone in the left seat to learn from you. Left seat, right seat is a mentality that we have in the military. And Don gave me the ability to sit in the left seat with him for the last 6 years. And I've watched the way that he treats people and interacts with people and is gracious to people. I mean, the simple fact you would never know that he is a retired 3-star general, because the level of humility and servant leadership that he demonstrates is incredible. So much so that I would, eat the leather off my own shoe, because the first time we met, I had just moved to Texas from Hawaii. And I got invited out because I was on the board for the chapter in Hawaii. I got invited out to see the chapter at Fort Hood at their golf tournament. So I get out there and I'm on a golf cart and I'm meeting new people, and here's this guy standing behind a ginormous grill flipping burgers and dogs and serving them to every golfer that comes by for the golf tournament. And when I met him, he said, hi, my name's Don. Oh, hi, I'm Crystal. Well, how'd you get here? He starts talking. He said, oh, well, let's go have coffee. There's gotta be somewhere we can use your skills here in the chapter. So after coffee, I'd said yes to 5 million different things, right? He's really, really good at getting people to volunteer. And I knew him as Don. 2 weeks later, we show up to the general membership meeting. I meet him at the front because he called me, he didn't want me to feel lonely and awkward because I didn't really know anyone. He met me at the front door, walks me in, and every single person we meet, hello, sir, good afternoon, sir, General Jones. And I looked at him and I said, General? Sir, why didn't you tell me? He goes, if I wanted you to call me sir, I would have told you to. My name's Don. The most humble individual you'll ever meet. So a leadership mentor for specific things. When it comes to leading in nonprofits and leading in an organization, the one thing I've learned from him is it has absolutely nothing to do with a title. It has everything to do with who you are and the values you demonstrate. And I can tell you the number one way that he showed it to me. And this is an absolute true story. We were at the Officers Club at Fort Hood. And usually when there's large post events, someone's getting promoted or the commanding general's leaving and a new one's coming in, everyone congregates on the Officers Club. All the community people that support the post and everybody else. And we arrived a little bit early, so he and I are sitting. Don doesn't drink, and I really don't either, but we're sitting at the bar, and I'm drinking a cold Diet Coke, and he's drinking a Pepsi. And this young specialist there's 2 double doors open. It's in the month of July, and in Killeen, July is hot, hot, hot. This young specialist in his full dress uniform had just come from the change of command, and they're opening both double doors, and there's a van parked outside. And this is what I see. The specialist comes in through the double doors, and he's got this huge box, like 2 boxes stacked. He walks in, and he walks over to the table, And he plunks down the boxes and he turns around and he goes back out. You can tell he's just like dying. Comes back, 2 more boxes, back in. Plunks them down. Well, people are filing into the room. There are officers everywhere. Majors, lieutenant colonels, captains, lieutenants, you name it. They're all converging. They're all getting their beer. They're all talking. Here's this poor specialist back and forth. About 15 boxes into it, Don notices. I've been watching the whole time. I'm in a suit and a dress, right? It's hot outside. There's no way I'm carrying boxes, so I think. And I watch Don get up, unbutton his jacket, take it off, drape it around the back of the bar stool, walk over, pat the guy on the shoulder. I'm sure he found out his name. Hey, I'm Don. Oh, I'm Joe, whatever. Nice to meet you. You need some help? He walks out the door. Next thing you know, in comes the specialist with 2 boxes, and in comes Lieutenant General Don Jones with 2 boxes. Puts them down. Back out they go. At this time, I'm starting to freak out a little bit. Specialist comes in, General Jones comes in. Second trip in, a major, who's from 3 Corps, which is the commanding group for Fort Hood, realizes that a 3-star general is carrying boxes. And goes, hey, y'all realize that the former deputy commander of 1st Cavalry Division is carrying effing boxes into the officers club? Why don't y'all grab a damn box? Whole freaking herd of people. Right? They all come in, there's like 25 people that go out, there's only 10 boxes left. They come in, they're all carrying 2-handed, like 4 boxes. They put it down. General Jones walks back over, puts on his jacket, and sits down and says nothing. Doesn't say, how dare you, that was inappropriate, why didn't you help him? But that major that noticed it came up to me afterwards and he goes, was he upset? I said, no, not in the slightest. He goes, it's the damnedest thing. I've never seen a leader not reprimand people for doing the wrong thing. I said, he didn't have to reprimand you. You figured it out yourself, that's why you feel guilty. But that's the type of leadership that you can exhibit every day. There are going to be opportunities all around you where you can take off your jacket and demonstrate leadership to the people you work with and for in a way that having a title will never suffice. You don't have to be a 3-star general, you just have to be a human being with a set of eyes and a heart big enough to realize that people need your assistance, because given your skill set and your knowledge base, there are going to be lots of opportunities for you to take off your jacket and do something that maybe not be your job, but it may be the one thing that helps somebody else be successful. So there's one quote that I absolutely love that Don uses over and over and over with me. And I always ask him, like, why do you constantly give all of your time away? I mean, you basically work full-time for